Welcome into another post-game edition of Spits and Suds. I'm Gavin Spittle of 105.3 The Fan. Hope you've had a great weekend. Stars get back in the win column and a nice bounce-back win against a Detroit Red Wings team that has been on one of the hottest in the NHL. Tonight, they won by the score of 4-1. Thank you so much for supporting and listening to Spits and Suds this January. Here's what's so fascinating, and this is the perfect example where stats don't necessarily tell the story. This is per our friend at Spits and Suds, Sean Shapiro. He's the one that put it on his Shap Shot, so I want to give him credit. So we talk about shots a lot, and Detroit had a 33-26 edge in shots, a 33-23 edge in scoring chances. Expected goals were nearly identical, according to Natural Stat Trick, 3.05 to 3.03 for Dallas. So with those aspects, you would think that this was a close game, and it really wasn't. The Stars dominated in the first period, held serve in the second period. Detroit played much better in the third period. I thought they had the better legs. I thought the Stars kind of slowed down on their skating, didn't skate as much, didn't have as many breakouts, but went on to win by the score of 4-1. Here's the other interesting stat. We talk about the Stars' drought in Ottawa. The Red Wings now have not won in Dallas since the 2015-2016 season. Whew. They have Detroit's number at the AAC. Jake Oettinger. And when you win 4-1, there were some terrific plays, which I'm about to go over the scoring. Everyone played well. And sometimes we forget about the goalie in these situations, because there were times in this game that he wasn't tested. But we will talk about when he was tested, and to me, that turned the game. But Jake Oettinger, 2 or less goals allowed in 7 of the last 8 games. The goals against average after his 23rd win is now 2.26. The save percentage is now .914. That 2.26 is 22 points lower than his career average. And his save percentage right now is .01 higher than his career average. So, long way to go in this season. But clearly, Jake Oettinger, thus far, is having one of his better statistical seasons. Now, would we like for Jake Oettinger to steal more games? Yes. But sometimes we forget about what he does. And Detroit has one of the top power plays in the NHL. In their previous 11 games, the Wings had scored 18 goals. Brian Ray pointed that out several times on Victory Plus. Now, they lost in Tampa, so they're coming off a back-to-back. But prior to the Tampa game on Saturday night, Detroit was 8-2 in their last 10. And then the Stars gave them a great opportunity just 24 seconds into the game. Evgeny Dadonov goes off for tripping, and that, to me, set the tone for the game. If Detroit scores a power play goal, which clearly they show that they can score them a lot, that completely changes how Detroit plays and how the Stars play, and the Stars have to play catch up. But the Stars with some good defense, Jake Oettinger with some big saves, they killed a penalty. In fact, the Stars were 3 for 3 in penalty kills against Detroit special teams, a massive story tonight. So that kind of flipped the momentum in favor of the Stars, because wasn't there a part of you when that penalty first happened, you're like, oh boy, here comes the hangover from Colorado? And it was actually the opposite. This was, to me, one of their better first periods, because just minutes later, we get a fourth line goal. In fact, the bottom 6 of the Stars tonight were terrific all night long. So let's point them out. On the third line, Oscar Beck, Sam Steele, Logan Stankoven. Sam Steele is playing terrific this year. Stankoven seems to have his game back. Matej Blumel, Ritz Kovian got his first assist. Colin Blackwell had a really nice night. boy, was he an agitator as far as his hustle. He was terrific. So a fourth line goal. Matej Blumel gets the goal on some nice net front activity. And you look at those 3 goals, it was all about the net front activity in front of Alex Lyon. How about Colin Blackwell and the work he put in? He makes a great pass in tight, which creates the rebound. Ritzkovian with his first NHL point on the assist. Stars go up 1-0. They double their lead, and this time it's on the power play. Another power play goal for this team as they move up the NHL standings as far as power play efficiency. Nice puck movement, and that's what's so effective. Results in a one-timer in Jason Robertson. He's been so good lately. He's on a heater. He's racking up the goals, racking up the points. And remember where it's happening. He's now in the dirty area now. He is working in front of the net. I love Jason Robertson in that area. He's so good as far as the puck finding him. When he's on the outside, I mean, yeah, he gets his shots in, but I love it when he gets into those areas because he has the talent and the skill to put the puck in the net. So he collects the rebound, kind of spins or gets spinned, and the puck comes right out to him. Just a real nice, easy goal. Stars go up 2-0. So once again, love how the Stars had solid puck movement on this power play, which resulted in a one-timer, which created the rebound for Robertson. So just over a minute later, the Stars make it 3-0. Okay, in the first 2 periods, one of the things that the Stars did so well was use their speed. And this is a perfect example of when the Stars use their speed, how effective they can be. So it all starts in the defensive zone. And we love to tell you on Spits and Suds where the play started because a lot of times they don't get the credit. But it is Matt Duchene intercepting a Detroit pass and collects it, immediately breaks out. Now, here is the key on this play. And if I'm showing young defensemen when and when not to join a rush, Ilya Lyubushkin times it, and he's perfect on this. So he joins the rush. Not only does he join the rush, but he knows where to join the rush. And that is key. If he's too close to Duchene or Bourque, he's not spreading the ice, but he basically goes down the middle, straight lines. And what happens when you have straight lines? The defense now has to account to 3 players. And that's why Lyubushkin is so important joining the rush. He needs to be accounted for so that he creates space. So when Lyubushkin gets the puck, the defense kind of moves towards him. Maverick Bourque is left open coming from the offside. Beautiful pass from Lyubushkin. Great breakout. 3-0. Good guys. It was a terrific tic-tac-toe passing game by the Stars, utilizing their speed. Can't say enough about Lyubushkin. Obviously, the play of Duchene has been terrific, and Maverick Bourque's come on late as well. So both teams don't score in the second period. I thought both teams played okay. I thought both goalies made some stops when needed. Both made some really, really solid saves. I give credit to Alex Lyon. I mean, the save percentage, if you look at it statistically, is not going to show that he played well. But you look at those 3 goals, and he's kind of left out to dry on those 3 goals. So in the third period, it seemed like Detroit got their legs coming out of the locker room. They spent a lot of time in the Star zone. They finally cash in. Marco Kasper, 12:01, Detroit within 2 goals. And they're continuing to press on the Stars, and it just feels as though the Stars are no longer skating. The Stars kind of have lost their edge, just trying to flip it out of the zone. But this time it was a neutral zone turnover that cost Detroit and put the game out of reach. Wyatt Johnston playing so well, played so well in the faceoff circle. Amazing for such a young player to be such a good two-way player. So he takes the puck, feeds Jason Robertson on the opposite side of the ice. Robertson sees Wyatt Johnston streaking. He's not accounted for. So he makes a nifty move to elude Alex Lyon, pulls it back almost so Lyon couldn't poke check it, puts it in via backhand, and the Stars go up 3 again, and that was your final score, 4-1. So once again, we at Spits and Suds love to give you those little tidbits, those little Spits and Suds nuggets that might not be talked about. So we recently have seen 2 goals that get overturned by the Stars because the Stars were offsides. And on both, it could have been prevented. Well, on this play, we have to give a lot of credit to Evgeny Dodonov. He sees the play happening. He sees the puck is going cross ice to Robertson. He hustles back to the line to remain onside before curling back in. So just a great effort. If you watch the replay, it's not something that he strides back for. He sprints back to that line. And that wouldn't have been a goal because he would have been offside. So it's just a terrific hustle, hockey awareness play by Evgeny Dodonov. Doesn't show up in the score sheet. You don't see it unless you watch that highlight, but just a real nice hockey sense by the Russian. So the Stars used their speed tonight. They did a great job on breakouts. They didn't get pinned in the zone until the third period. They got great goaltending from Oettinger. And they were terrific tonight on special teams. 1 of 1 on the power play and 3 penalty kills. Detroit, like I said, who has been so effective on the power play, went 0 for 3, and that was your difference in tonight's game. So good news. The Stars move actually past Minnesota, and for at least tonight, we can celebrate moving up to second place in the Central Division. So that's nice as well. Let's see what you guys contributed tonight on Twitter. Robot, anytime someone's named Robot, maybe I shouldn't read it. And in fact, this is why when you do these things on the fly, it says throw the link in there for those of us new to the program. So I will have to throw in a Spits and Suds link to you, Robot, so you can check it out. But the simple way is just Google Spits and Suds. Spits and Suds Hockey Podcast. It's on Spotify. It's on Apple. It originates through Odyssey. So it's all over the place, everywhere your podcasts are found. Michael Moore, I keep asking myself this question. Who are the Stars? Are they truly better than the rest in the West, or are they destined for an early exit? I think that's a good question, and I don't know when we can answer it. All depends how they're looking going into the playoffs. Let's see. This weekend didn't provide much clarity. They took care of the teams they were expected to, but fell short against the playoff ones. The only slight disagreement, Michael, that I'll say is that Detroit came in really, really hot. So therefore, they're in the playoff hunt. I would deem this a very good win by the Stars tonight. So yes, bad game against Colorado, but a really nice game, and your goaltenders playing really well right now. So yes, it is an interesting question. Which Stars team is there? The other thing, Michael, to account for, and you don't want to use it as an excuse, but doesn't this team look different if Rope Hintz is back, Tyler Sagan's back, Mason Marchman's back? I mean, that's 50% of your first line. And that does 2 things. You get a bunch of scoring back. You get some great size back in Marchman, but it also drops others down. So now all of a sudden, you have Evgeny Dodonov, who's playing really well on the first line. There's a good chance he could drop down to even the third line. And, all of a sudden your third and fourth lines get even stronger. I mean, it's great that Beck is playing well, and Blumel got a goal tonight, and Ritzkovian got his first NHL assist. But probably 2 of those 3 should not be playing right now. They should be getting minutes in the AHL or healthy scratches, and that's the difference. And if you pick up a trade at around the deadline, more people get knocked down. So I think it's really interesting. I mean, you technically could have Sam Steele, who's playing at a very high level, but you should have Sam Steele playing on your fourth line. Remember how good Sam Steele and Blackwell were when they were just purely on that fourth line, but they've had to move up due to injuries. Homero Jimenez says, I don't need to watch in games that are blacked out. It also seems they also lose, so I'm just going to follow and see what happens. Well, You missed a good one tonight. Hopefully we're explaining it well on Spits and Suds. William said, game was fun. Glad to see Robertson still scoring after losing hints. You know what? It's all about effort. He's getting into the area, and pucks are finding his stick. Good things happen when you go to the net. It's one of the oldest hockey terms, but probably still reigns true after these hundreds of years of hockey. Christopher DeHardy says, what a week. I covered the Chili Bowl Nationals all week in Tulsa and drove to Dallas to see my first game at the AAC. Congratulations, my friend. The Chili Bowl is absolutely awesome. So for those that don't know, it is in Tulsa. It is indoors. It is on a dirt track. And there is so much pride as far as the Chili Bowl and the class of drivers that participate. You have some of the best in NASCAR participating. You have some of the best dirt racers. It's just really cool, and it happens in this small arena, and it's just got such a legacy and great history. So kudos for covering that. Bought a warm-up puck at 1-0, and by the time I was rung up, it was 3-0. Couldn't return to my seat at that point, so I stood up for the rest of the game. Great win. So you're the reason that they won. I love it. I love the superstition, my friend. I've actually done that where I've been in the kitchen, something good happens, and I stay in the kitchen. So we've actually talked about that on 105.3 The Fan. It shouldn't be true, but you know what? We got to do what we got to do. Robot, you already got your link. Producer Gregory Finley just sent the link to you. So, my friend, you get to listen to tonight's episode, and hopefully you'll spread the word about Spits and Suds. Hey, we got another big week coming. The Stars, the gauntlet continues. It's Carolina on Tuesday. So, Carolina is one of those teams that I absolutely love to watch. You don't see him much, but Sebastian Aho, if he played in any other city, we'd be talking about Sebastian Aho as one of the best. You have Brett Burns, who is close to playing in 1,500 games. The guy is just a time on ice eater for his whole career, has played forward at a high level. Now he's on the back end at a high level. Just is so calm with the puck. This NHL veteran is unbelievable. So remember a couple of years ago, everyone wanted Brett Burns, and so did I. We wanted him on this Stars blue line, and there was a natural connection because Burns has a ranch in Texas. So we were thinking, all right, this is going to be great. But he signs with Carolina, so we see him as well as so many other great players on the Carolina Hurricanes. They are having a terrific year. In fact, let me pull it up one point just so I get my standings right. They are third place in the Metro behind Washington with 57 points, and New Jersey has 58. So they're 1 point out of second place, and they are 7 points up as far as in the playoffs if you go down to the last wild card. So kudos, they're going to be really good. And then you get Vegas, and then you have another back-to-back. So you have Vegas on Friday night, and then you have on Saturday St. Louis. So it's going to be a tough stretch, but a very, very nice 2 points tonight against Detroit. They will match up once again later in the season, and we'll see what happens there. So we're going to have a lot of programs this week, probably more interviews as we continue to roll on with hockey content that we can use. So please tell your friends that DFW has a hockey podcast that's putting out practically daily interviews or talking about post-game shows or whatever we do here at Spits and Suds. Hopefully you're enjoying it. Hopefully you'll spread the word. I'm Gavin Spittle of 105.3 The Fan. We'll talk to you again soon. Stars win. Have a great day, everyone.